Improving as an overall player is every competitor's goal in Valorant or any esport you can imagine. Learning the basics of a game will give you a foundation to grow on, but what separates great players from pro players are the little things about your game. Whether it's a training routine, equipment, time spent playing in game, or just little nuanced details about your game that you slowly learn over time. Every player's goal is to become the best possible competitor they can be on their journey towards becoming a professional Valorant player. That's why today we're going to be talking about secret tips that pro players keep to themselves and how they use them to get to where they are today. What is up, ProGuides family? It's your host, Sergeant Frost, and today we're going to bring you a video on 10 secrets that pro players keep to themselves. These secrets will be both in-game tips and out-of-game tips. But before we get into the video, you guys know what time it is. Yep, it's time for our question of the day. Today's question is, which pro player do you learn the most from while watching them play? It can be from watching their streams, YouTube videos, even just watching them in tournaments. In my opinion, I learn a lot from watching Hiko, Sean Garris, and Mixwell. These guys have been around in the competitive CSGO scene for years, and now their knowledge is being bestowed upon us in Valorant to help us improve and grow. Alright, I think that's enough for our question of the day. Now let's get into these 10 secrets pros keep to themselves. Before we begin, we must disclaim that these secrets will include tips both in and out of game. One of the first and most important tips that pros keep to themselves is the power good equipment will have on your game. Having good equipment and a good setup is one of the best ways to maximize performance, which will directly improve your gameplay and personal improvement. Don't get me wrong, many professional players grew up on low-end setups with less than optimal PCs and computer peripherals for playing on a professional level. But while this was a challenge for them, it did not stop them from ranking up to the highest levels of the game. Just because you have a low-end PC that barely gets 60 frames and a non-gaming mouse or keyboard in your arsenal does not mean you cannot hit Radiant rank or improve as a player. Many players have shown that talent rises above all else. And despite a lack of high-end equipment, they rose to the occasion and reached their goals. But at the highest levels of play, the little details will matter, and having good equipment and a good setup can break your glass ceiling and allow you to improve in ways you never thought possible. A good mid-range level PC, a good gaming mouse and keyboard, a high refresh rate monitor, a decent-sized gaming chair that helps with posture, good high-speed internet, a good sounding headset, and a proper-sized desk are all tools you can use to maximize your game performance. Having these things will make a night and day difference when you upgrade your setup, and you will see how much better it is to play on top of the line equipment. These advantages that an optimized setup can give you is night and day and can be the boost and improvement you need to up your game and break through on your journey towards becoming a pro. If you want more help learning how you can improve your gameplay in Valorant, make sure to check out ProGuides.com. You can quickly upload your gameplay VODs on our website, and we have coaches online 24/7 who will quickly get back to you and help you on your journey towards improving in Valorant. ProGuides.com will teach you the necessary skills to rank up faster, enjoy the game more, and receive premium help from our online coaches. You can book a session whenever you need it according to your schedule. No more time being stuck in your elo. Head over to ProGuides.com to begin your journey toward the rank of your dreams. Our second tip is something that too many players overlook when it comes to improving in Valorant. Creating a good training and warm-up routine will not only sharpen your skills and aim with time, it will also prepare you for a long day of ranked and climbing. Esports and competing in Valorant is no different from any other sport. If you want to improve your skills, you will need to put in the time and effort to build a training routine and a proper warm-up routine before you play. Many pros have simple and straightforward training routines built around what's going on in their life. This allows them to have a good work-life balance between gaming and everyday life activities. In my opinion, a good training routine would look something like this for the average player. You start off your day with a good breakfast and start up your PC for the day, and prepare your setup for a day of gaming. You warm up before you play, whether that be aim trainers, reaction time, and hand-eye coordination trainers, or just an hour of deathmatch in game. After you get done with your warm-up, you play some unrated to get a feel for your mechanics and game sense while playing in game. Then, you stop and get a good lunch so you won't run out of fuel midday. For the second half of your day, you should start by reviewing your recorded VODs from previous ranked matches and scrims from previous days before. Then the grind part of your day begins, playing either ranked solo or with your friends. And if you are on a competitive team, you end the day with scrims, more ranked matches later, dinner, and finally a few minutes of aim training before you go to bed. Having a structured training routine schedule will make you a lot more productive during the day and will allow you to manage your time well. A good training routine will allow you to set goals for yourself regarding improvement and will allow you to monitor your progress over time. Every single pro in any esport or sport will have a comprehensive, planned, and overall excellent training routine that they follow that allows them to stay sharp and at the top of their game. And that is why you should adopt one too. Our third tip is one of the fastest ways to improve your game sense and correcting personal mistakes, and that is reviewing your VODs. Reviewing your VODs is a practice that all esports pros and teams do in order to fix your problems, learn more about the game and how you play, and to study your opponents. Reviewing your VODs will allow you to see how, where, and why you die in game, what you are doing right and what you could be doing better in game, how you can improve certain aspects of your game that may be lacking, and most importantly, you want to see why you lost or won a game on a basic level. Learning to look for mistakes in your VODs is one of the best ways to mentally improve, not just in Valorant, but in any sport you play. VOD reviewing is not a time when you should be down on yourself or roasting your own mistakes or teammates. It is a tool that should be used to gain knowledge about the game and to be honest about yourself and the way you play. The first step towards fixing a problem is admitting you have one, and the next step is actively looking for ways to improve your problems and fix them. This saying could not be a better description of what VOD reviewing can do for you and improving your game. Every pro does VOD reviewing, whether it be their ranked games or film from a tournament. All footage of you playing holds teachable moments that you can use to craft a better you. Our fourth tip is playing during certain times of the day. Playing too much Valorant can be just as detrimental as playing too little over long periods of time. You should be getting proper hours of sleep in order to be fully functional and awake the next day. Playing during all hours of the night on top of grinding during the daytime can be detrimental to your physical and mental health and will degrade your in-game performance. Playing a reasonable amount during the day and getting a good amount of sleep will get you much better performance and results over time in regards to your personal improvement. Playing during peak hours of the day will also lower your queue times and generally give you a better pool of players to play with during the day. Playing during the daytime hours of 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. is usually when most players are on. Avoid playing at night, as this is when you will usually face worse and more inconsistent competition along with higher wait times in queue. For our fifth tip, it's no secret that playing with friends in dynamic queue will give you an advantage in your climb. Whether you play with a duo or with 5 people, any help you can get from a communicating, well-coordinated team that's on the same page will always give you the upper hand advantage in every ranked game you play. Dynamic queuing is one of the reasons pro players are able to climb the ranks so fast. When 5 like-minded and similar skill level players get together to grind out ranked games, the ladder climb becomes easy, as playing in this kind of environment with friends will make your ranked experience so much better. We know it's hard to find friends that play Valorant at a similar level to you, but you can start by friending the people you play with after games or finding Valorant-themed discords. In these places, you will find like-minded and similar skill level people who can take up the grind with you in an effort to climb the rank ladder all the way to the top. Now we will begin the in-game Valorant tips. And our sixth tip is counterstriking the enemy team. Counterstriking is a concept that came from CSGO, and on a basic level, it means crafting a plan with your team before the round starts and actively trying to take control of the map to win the round. There are 2 ways you can play a competitive FPS game, and that is proactively and reactively. Most teams in ranked games are very uncoordinated and play the game reactively since there's very little communication and teamwork going on. I will bet you have heard this phrase, spread out and play for picks. This is a very reactive playstyle that in high-level play will not work, because you will eventually secede map control and will allow the enemy to box you in and frag your entire team before you have a chance to do anything. Counterstriking is a proactive playstyle where you and your team communicate and go into the round with a specific plan, where you will look to dismantle the enemy team methodically and with as few casualties as possible. Counterstriking, I guarantee you, will win you over 50% of your games despite your rank and skill level. No godlike amount of aim can outperform a well-coordinated team that's moving with a purpose and a plan. Counterstriking is most of what you will see when you watch professional Valorant games on both offense and defense, and it is a concept you should try to learn and implement into your ranked games as well. For our 7th tip, we have playing power positions on the map to win rounds. Power positions on maps in Valorant consist of having good cover, elevation, and overwatch over a site or different parts of the map. For example, the elevated heaven positions on all maps in Valorant are great examples of playing power positions. These power positions on defense will give you control over a site to prevent attackers from getting in and establishing control before planting. And on offense, they will prevent any rotating defenders from trying to retake the site to foil your plant attempt. Power positions are on every single map. They can be well-covered positions in sight that allow you to hold passive angles. They can be the midsection of a map that allows you to control the map and influence the other team's movements. They can be heaven positions that allow you to ult from safety and shut people down the second they expose themselves. A great tip for map knowledge is to learn all the power positions on all the maps in Valorant and use them to your advantage to win games with ease. This 8th tip we have is pretty simple, but it is a concept that started long ago in the early days of Counter-Strike, and has still proven useful in Valorant today, and that is raid bossing on pistol rounds. In simplest terms, raid bossing is when you dedicate a person on your team as raid boss on a pistol round, and your team plays around them to win the round. Raid bossing consists of giving one player or 2 an upgraded pistol, which will allow them to buy armor and their abilities on the first round. A lot of times, the players playing an aggressive entry frag like Phoenix, Reyna, Jett, and Raze will benefit from being the raid boss. Giving them a ghost and allowing them to buy armor and abilities will make them a force to be reckoned with that round, and many times will lead to winning rounds based off of purely overpowering the enemy team. Raid bossing serves the purpose of winning an easy pistol round to put your team ahead on the scoreboard and allowing your team to get a head start in their economy by feeding your raid boss a lot of money. This strategy is a simple concept and when executed properly will win you many rounds. Our 9th tip is a map strategy that will allow you to mentally outplay your opponents and force them to concede map control through fear. The purpose of trying to fake a push onto a site is to bait out utility and ultimates and forcing the enemy team to over-rotate. This is a strategy many attacking teams will do to keep a defending team off balance and force them to give up map control. Attacking teams will fake pushing a site to trigger an overreaction from the defenders and forcing them to over-rotate and panic. After defenders burn their utility and ultimates, they will be left with no abilities to prevent a secondary push from attackers when they actually execute on a site. Attackers can also fake a push and fast rotate to the opposite site to catch defenders flat-footed and force them to break team cohesion and retake the site. Faking sites is one of the best ways in high-level play to take sites from defenders that are overstacking on a site. Our 10th and final tip is another map strategy that you will see used in a lot of professional matches, and that is playing OffSite on defense, or playing for retake in simpler terms. Playing OffSite is where you concede map control on a particular site and stack your players on the opposite site. This will allow you to have extreme map pressure on one side of the map while allowing you to rotate freely if you need to retake the site on the opposite side of the map. A common example of playing off-site is when a team is playing on Haven defense, they will leave B site completely open and stack the rest of their players across A and C site. The purpose of this is to better lock down the harder sites to retake, which is A and C. B site has multiple openings and very little real estate in sight to plant, which makes it the much easier site to retake. Stacking your players can help defend against very aggressive pushes when you are having trouble holding a particular site. Having trouble holding a particular site gives validity to the very common tactic of playing off-site to get better control of the map on defense. Well everyone, that's all we have for our 10 secrets pro players keep to themselves. If you liked the video, then be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing if you enjoyed the content. We upload new videos just like this one every single day, and the best way to stay notified of that is by ringing that notification bell. Don't forget to check out ProGuides.com to gain access to some truly amazing coaching. Remember to stay safe out there, and I will see you all again very soon.